My husband disappears for 3 hours every single day, and it's the reason I can't have another baby. We've been married for 7 years, we have a beautiful 3.5-year-old son, and on the surface, everything looks fine. But there's a clockwork ritual in our home that has become a symbol of a much deeper problem. Every morning, every afternoon, and every evening, right when the chaos of parenting hits its peak, my husband vanishes. He walks into the bathroom, closes the door, and for the next hour, he is gone. And his proposed solution to this problem is so insulting, it might just be the end of us. Every day starts the same way. Our toddler wakes up, and the morning scramble begins. Getting him dressed, making breakfast, packing his bag for preschool, it's a whirlwind of activity. And I am almost always doing it alone. Because right in the middle of it all, my husband starts his routine. He disappears into the bathroom for his first hour-long session of the day. It's not just a quick trip. It's a full bowel movement followed by a long, meticulous shower. By the time he emerges, clean and relaxed, the storm has passed. I've already gotten our son completely ready, and maybe, if I'm lucky, he'll handle the simple task of driving him to school. Then, it happens again in the afternoon. And again in the evening. The evening is the hardest. Bath time, pajamas, bedtime stories, the final, exhausting push of the day. This is the time a child needs both parents. But more often than not, I'm wrangling a tired, fussy toddler by myself while the sound of the shower runs from behind a locked door. He's checked out. He's unavailable. And I am drowning in resentment. We both work full-time. The load is supposed to be shared. But I feel like I'm the default for everything, the project manager of our family, and he's just a part-time consultant who clocks in when it's convenient. For the last 2 years, we've been talking about having a second child. Or rather, I've been trying to. He was looking for a new job, and he used that uncertainty as a reason to delay the conversation. I waited. I was patient. Now, he's finally settled in his new role, so the topic is back on the table. My son constantly asks for a baby sister because all his friends at school have one. When he asks his dad, my husband just smiles and says, "That depends on mommy." He says it like he's putting the ball in my court. Like I'm the one holding things up. But he knows exactly why I'm hesitating. The issues we had after our first baby were never resolved. His complete lack of awareness, his inability to be proactive, the way I have to tell him every single thing to do or he just doesn't. He doesn't see the mess, he doesn't hear the baby crying, he doesn't feel the urgency. He exists in his own bubble, and I am left to manage everything outside of it. How could I possibly bring a newborn into this dynamic? How could I survive 2 children when my partner is gone for the 3 most demanding hours of every single day? I decided to confront him directly. Not with anger, but with a genuine, practical question. I sat him down and said, "How are we supposed to have a newborn when you're unavailable for 3 hours at the most critical times of the day?" I wanted him to see my concern. I wanted him to engage, to problem solve with me, to show me he understood the weight of what I was saying. I wanted him to say, "You're right, I need to figure this out. I'll be there." Instead, what he said broke something inside me. He looked at me, without a hint of irony, and said, "My parents can take care of the baby." His parents who live a 2-hour drive away. His first and only solution was not to change his own behavior, not to step up as a father, but to outsource the job. To bring someone else in to do his part. He didn't hear my plea for a partner, he heard a request for a babysitter. It made me feel so incredibly sad and disappointed. This isn't a one-time need for help. This is a daily, multi-year commitment, and his immediate reaction was that someone else could handle it for him. He says it's a medical issue. He has terrible hemorrhoids, and I know he's often in pain. He says the long sessions are necessary, that he needs the shower afterward to feel clean. And I want to be sympathetic, I really do. But then I see the cracks in his story. When we have to be somewhere early, or we have plans, he somehow manages to adjust his schedule. He can go earlier, or later, or seemingly not at all. He has control when it benefits him. But as soon as we're home, the default setting kicks back in, and he chooses to make himself scarce during the hardest parts of my day. It feels less like a medical necessity and more like a convenient escape. And I know for a fact his phone is in there with him, which certainly isn't helping. Here's where the story takes a turn. Because I realized this wasn't just about his own personal avoidance. This was a pattern taught and enabled by his entire family. A few times a year, I had to travel for work for 3 or 4 days at a time. You'd think this would be his chance to step up and prove he can handle things on his own. It's not. The moment I leave, he calls his parents, and they come stay for the entire duration of my trip. He has never managed to parent our son alone. And then, he has the audacity to use my travel against me. When I bring up his lack of involvement, he'll say, "Well, you leave all the time for work." As if a few days a year for my job is the same as his 3-hour daily disappearing act. I've tried talking to his parents. It's like talking to a brick wall. His mother makes excuses for him. She once told me, with a straight face, that I need to be more patient and just teach him. She said I should give him the benefit of the doubt because he's not trying to be malicious, he's just, and these were her exact words, kinda dumb. She even said that it's natural for kids to want their moms more anyway. His father is actually quite proactive and handy, but his mother's attitude has clearly given my husband a lifelong permission slip to be incompetent. My own mother isn't much better, telling me that men are all like this, but that's just not true. My own father, for all his faults, manages everything for their house. He's handy, he cleans, he fixes things. My husband is none of that. There is a bidet in our house. We bought it 2 years ago specifically to help with his condition. It's a simple solution that could potentially cut down his shower time significantly. It is still in the box. He has never made a move to install it. And frankly, I am so filled with resentment that I refuse to install it for him. That box sitting in the corner has become a monument to our entire problem. A clear solution that requires a tiny bit of effort from him, completely ignored, while I'm left to deal with the fallout. He claims a bidet wouldn't be enough anyway, that he needs the shower to feel truly clean, that he's worried about a fungal rash. I told him the constant showering is probably stripping his skin's natural barrier and making it worse, but he doesn't listen. I've waited 2 years for the right time to have this conversation about a second baby. I waited for his job to stabilize. I waited for things to feel calm. But his response showed me that the time will never be right. There will always be another excuse. This isn't about his bathroom habits anymore. It's about the crushing realization that I don't have a partner. I have another person to manage. And I simply cannot, and will not, sign up to raise 2 children and a grown man all by myself. This isn't about stopping a man from using the bathroom. This is about weaponized incompetence. He appears to be using a real, and likely painful, medical condition as a perfect, unassailable excuse to opt out of the messy, difficult, and demanding work of raising a child. He has created a sanctuary for himself where he can't be reached, leaving his wife to handle the daily battles alone. His solution, to bring in his parents, proves he doesn't see himself as an equal partner, but as a role that can be easily filled by someone else. He may be in physical pain, but he is inflicting a deep emotional wound on his wife and his family. He's showing his son that a father's role is optional, and showing his wife that her dreams for their family are less important than his desire to escape. He's using a medical condition to avoid being a father. Is she right to put her dream of a second child on hold, or is this a sign that she needs to walk away from the relationship entirely?